So for the third stage of the speed runs, there's the frozen run. And this is one that actually even someone requested that I do. So we're going to go over this. I'm going to show you every single trick I did, every kind of corner I cut, and how to get the best time. I still feel like there's a more optimal way to play through this stage. To my knowledge, at the moment, this is the best method I found, but I'm probably going to play a little more and try to find more optimal routes. If I do, I will update you on that and show you what new ways I have found out. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go down this slope. Don't jump or anything, because as you can see, you get a little bit of a boost, which will save you a little bit more time. So you want to slide down there, and you're going to see me kind of hug this left side, this left edge a little bit. It's because we're going to skip 2 of those little ice block steps in front of me. So basically, I'm kind of trying to take a straight path as much as possible. And like I said, I'll hug the left side, and I'll go ahead and let you see that. Do a little spin there after the boost to catch this corner. And then we're going to jump and then break through the ice. I used to think going around the ice was faster, but I have found that actually breaking through it and taking the slope down is actually a little faster. If there are slope downs, you want to take them as much as possible because you do get a bit of a momentum boost. And that's what I'll do here. Getting the timing right for breaking that can be a little tricky. It's not like the rocket button on the last video where you can actually hit it pretty early. That one you actually have to time pretty late. You can't be too far away because you won't break it, and you can't be too close because you'll get clipped by the ice and you'll hang for a moment and lose a little bit of time. So usually about the visual cue I look for is the shadow of the astrobot will just about start getting up to that step to where the ice blocks are. So let me show you that. Okay, you can see right there. That's whenever I start doing the spin. And you see the shadow is just right before that little step. That is the best time to do it. You'll keep your momentum, you'll break it, and then you'll immediately hit the ramp and start going down. And as you can see, I went down there, got some momentum. Now I'm going to jump off this right side, and we're going to go around all of these little ice walls because it's a lot faster to cut through the course and take corners. And that's what I'm going to do is as soon as I land on the next platform, I'm going to jump off and just keep hanging on the right side. And you can see that I just keep hanging on that right side because we're going to keep going right around this area. So the closer you are to the right, the less backtracking you'll have to do and the more time you'll save. And this is a long jump. It's not too difficult. If you've been doing the other stages, you'll be able to make this jump fairly easily. Okay, so what we want to do is, it seems like you may be a little faster while you're skating. I'm not for sure though. I've tried different methods and it's really hard to tell, but it feels like you're a little faster. I could be wrong on that though. But from right here, we're going to jump to that little metal corner piece right before that waterfall. We're going to try to land as close to the edge as possible and then immediately do another jump. So that right there. Let me backtrack just a little bit so I can show you about where I'm jumping from. Okay. So on this little section, I go about halfway. I go about halfway through this little bridge, or in between the 2 center frozen tiles. So you do that, and you'll be in a good spot for the next jump. Then right there, the visual cue I used, that little blue line in the metal corner piece, I jump from that edge right in front of it. So these little ice platforms that are coming through the water are a little tricky. They are going the opposite direction of you, so they will horrendously take down your time. So as soon as you jump on them, you want to immediately jump off. And that's why I found that this little spot with the blue line is about the best place to be when you get here. Now that also being granted that you did everything else right, because these platforms move the entire time the whole run starts. So you need to make sure that you get the timing right all the way to this point. So if you jump from this edge that I have, you can land on that one that's a little closer in between the two higher pieces. And then we're going to jump to the next lower one. And like I said, you want to jump off as soon as you jump on it. Okay. Okay. So once you've done that, just jump straight to the corner. If you got the timing right, you will make this jump. So let me go back. I actually think I misspoke, to be honest. I think I said it was the next lower platform. Yeah, it's not immediately the next one. It's the one after the next lowest platform. Okay. Okay. So skip that one, land on this, and then jump. Now you will need to cut your boost short right here. So you can actually make the jump and then break the ice that's blocking your path and still go. But I found that that's one of those near perfect jumps that you have to do. And to me, it's just not worth it. It's a lot easier to cut the boost short and then jump up and break the ice. You don't lose any time anyways. So it doesn't really matter. So the safer and better method would be to land short and then jump up and break the ice in front of you. You can choose to make the long jump if you want, but like I said, it's not going to gain or lose any time. So that's just entirely up to you. Again, take the ramp down to get some momentum. And then we're going to jump here and make the jump all the way to that penguin over there. So this spot can be a little tricky. So what we want to do is we want to break the glass where these trampolines are. Now, we're not going to break the first one, because you can actually make the next jump without it, and without even doing a spin. It is the next section that we will need to break the glass. So, I'll just go ahead and show you this first part. Okay, so you're going to jump on that corner, and then you're going to jump across to where the next trampoline is. And the reason you want to do this is you want to give yourself the right amount of distance, and you want to go straight to it to cut down some time. Now, here's probably the trickiest part in the whole run. You need to get your height just right to where you get the lasers out, so that way you can break the glass, but you also don't want to land on the ground before you get up there. So I found jumping from this corner is about the right spot. It'll take a little bit of practice to get it just right. So if you get the jump just right, you will break the glass before you run out of your boosters or before you hit the ground. So let me show you what that looks like. And as you can see there, it's really tight. Like that's not easy. It took me a few tries to get it just right. But if you do that, you can hit the trampoline without having to backtrack or without having to slow down or stop. And I also want to note something else very important. This is very important for this next section. You do not have to break the glass above the trampoline to use it. If you break one part of the glass, the entire section of glass will break. Which is why I use my boosters a little early for this next part. And as you can see, I used it way back away from the trampoline, but it's breaking all the glass anyway. And then that's how you do both of those. Like I said, it'll take a little bit of practice to get it just right. I'm confident it won't take you very long though. It's definitely a huge time save if you can pull it off. So this next section is pretty weird. And the only reason I say it's pretty weird is because it seems like you get a bit of a momentum boost from the trampoline. You don't get it in the air, but you get it as soon as you touch the ice. Or I could be crazy, but it sure feels like it. So kind of the more optimal method here is you want to hug the right edge, because we're going to be going right around. And we're only going to jump on 2 of these ice platforms. So let me show you what that looks like. Now normally I probably wouldn't have jumped on that second one. The only reason I do is because it gives me just the right amount of distance and the right amount of height for this slope. Because we want to go down this slope because it will increase our speed and start shaving down even more time. So if you jump off the edge of that second platform, you'll be in just the right spot for this slope. And you'll start going down it and ready for the final trampoline. Now there is something else I want to mention here before I let this go. Do not go all the way to the end of this ramp. You will lose some time because the objective here is to hit the button to finish the stage as soon as possible. So you want to land right at the very front of that trampoline, and you'll hit just the very front of the button, ending the stage as quickly as you can. About where I'm standing, just before the slope levels off, is about where you'll want to jump. And that is how I go through the stage. And I'll let you see that last part one more time. So that way you can see it to its full extent. Okay. So like I said, breaking the glass will take a little bit of practice for the timing. Jumping off that slope and hitting the front of the trampoline before the final jump will probably take just a little bit. It's not too bad. Something else I want to mention also, you saw me kind of hugging the right side before I went down that slope. That's just to save a little bit more time. So you want to be fairly centered by the time you hit the trampoline. I just kind of slowly inch my way to the left if possible, so that way I'm not making any drastic movements a lot of time. So now that all of that's done, let me show you the full run, so that way you can see how it all looks when everything is put together. Okay. Okay. And there it is. So at the current time of this recording, this is actually the world record for this stage. This is the fastest time. And I'm confident that it can easily be broken. There are some things that I actually got a little slower on and some mistakes I made. So yeah, this is definitely beatable. And I'm sure that there is a more optimal path probably somewhere, but as for right now, this is the most optimal path that I have found. Anyways, that's going to do it for that. And the next track is going to be the storm run, and I will try to get that done and uploaded as soon as possible. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Good luck, have fun, and take care.